disasters.
Thank you. I do think we have an excellent OEP department. Rick Wepper does a great job. One of the things I think we could do is to get a better list or an inventory identifying the seniors and children with special needs in our parish, so that when there is a disaster or a situation that needs attending to with OEP, that they know right where the people are, where they can go to use the oxygen bus that they have. I think that we also need to work on communication with other organizations within the parish that would possibly want to work with us to address the needs of the citizens during an emergency, churches, other organizations that would, help. I think the third thing, and this is a real need, when we have a disaster, a lot of times electricity goes off, and in the last hurricane, we had a lot of people who didn't have, couldn't use their toilets, couldn't use their shower facilities because they didn't have a treatment plant that was operating. And the parish has 6 generators and 200 plants. That's just not acceptable. We've got to find a better way of providing the needed generators so that our people have the facilities that they need during disaster. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is for you to answer first. Many of our chamber members, along with the economic development community, feel that the Planning and Zoning Commission is anti-business. What steps will you take to ensure that there is a more balanced approach from the Planning and Zoning Commission to help businesses receive timely and fair responses to their developmental ideas before the Commission?
Okay, business is different than residential development, so I'll focus on business. I do think that I said earlier, we need to designate areas for light industrial. The commission itself really only takes applications that are brought into it. I think the Economic Development Corporation can encourage business to come, but when they get here, there is a process that every person has to go through, whether it's residential or business, and it's not a fast track. That's just the process. You have to apply, and then within 30 days you go before the Zoning Commission, and then you have to, if it is well, depending on what the requirements are for your development, you're going to have to, there's several steps you have to take. We can't shorten those steps, and I don't think we should shorten those steps. I think we need to make sure that we dot all our I's and cross all our T's. We haven't been doing that, and that's why we're getting in trouble, like with the hummus house plantation. I do support that development, but the planning process has really been corrupted, and I think we need to change the way we do business to help business. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coppell. Mr. Martinez, many of our chamber members, along with the economic development community, feel that the Planning and Zoning Commission is anti-business. What steps will you take to ensure that there is a more balanced approach from the Planning and Zoning Commission to help businesses receive timely and fair responses to their developmental items before the Commission?
Well, basically what we need to do is look at our entire code and also our zoning ordinance and look and see that there's some flaws in that ordinance that need to be corrected. Prime example was the Homer's house. It was actually in a historic overlay zone, and also was in a spud overlay zone, which was a mistake. It shouldn't have been in both of those zones, and that's been corrected. But that's something that we really need to have a committee formed with businesses and just our zoning committee to look at and come up with some ideas that'll make our zoning a little more user-friendly as far as from the business community. And I think in the recent months, I've seen the Planning Commission lose focus as to what its real job is. I mean, if you look at what the Planning Commission is supposed to do, it is supposed to actually subdivide lots in Ascension Parish, make legal lots, and also one of the main things is to do a master plan. And of course, we all know what happened with the master plan. We looked at it. It went to the Planning Commission as a draft. And that draft was never presented to the council. It was never accepted by the Planning Commission. And I think they should go back to that and look at the master plan, which would also help businesses, and incorporate some new zoning changes in the master plan. And my time's up. So.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Our next question is for you to answer first. The Ascension Chamber of Commerce is a strong supporter of the Ascension Economic Development Corporation, or AEDC. Do you intend to continue to utilize AEDC, and what steps will you take to provide AEDC the resources necessary to attract new businesses and assist existing businesses in Ascension Parish?
Well, as I stated earlier, AEDC is doing an excellent job. We fund them, I think now it's about $300,000, maybe it was originally about $340,000. We're going to continue doing that. When the economy was down, we cut back 20% of all of our nonprofit funding, and AEDC was cut about $69,000. I'd like to see us reinstate that money if tax revenues get better. I mean, at this point, we're down about $1.5 million a year, not a year, over the past 4 years in tax revenues. So, but we think that we can do some things and work with Mike Eaves and his department. I would like to give them more resources. I want to continue working with them. I can tell you in the last couple of years, I've grown fond of that department. I think they do an excellent job. It took a while when I first came into office to understand the process as to what their job was and what their motivation was. And I can tell you, we looking now like Ormet, they were very big in that. There's $400 million that was just announced at Williams, $300 million at Westlake. So they've earned their money. I'd like to see more resources given to them. I'm going to work with the councils to see that that happens.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Ms. Goppelt, the Ascension Chamber of Commerce is a strong supporter of the Ascension Economic Development Corporation, or AEDC. Do you intend to continue to utilize AEDC, and what steps will you take to provide AEDC the resources necessary to attract new businesses and assist existing businesses in Ascension Parish?
Okay. The Ascension Economic Development Corporation is a viable group. They do a job that nobody else is doing in this parish, and I will support them. I do support them. The key is the funding, and we will fund that organization to the best of the ability that we have the money resources available. One of the things I'd like to see us do through that organization is to spread out the economic development over all areas of the parish. Right now, we have good economic development happening in the city of Gonzales and surrounding areas, but Donaldsonville and Sorrento are really languishing, and I think we need to be creative and innovative in what we can do to help these areas of our parish to thrive as well. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Goppelt. Our next question is directed for you first. A thriving and expanding petrochemical industry or industrial corridor is a vital lifeline to our businesses and our residents. If elected parish president, how do you plan to assist in continuing that growth?
Okay. One of the biggest ways we can help in facilitating growth is to communicate with people. And I really think that I don't have a personal relationship with these plant managers. My husband has worked in these refining industries all his life. And so that's where our bread and butter comes from. So I appreciate the contribution that they've made. I believe about 55% of our tax base comes from the petrochemical industries. And we need to continue to support them, to help them do their work and make their bottom line so that we can provide jobs and income for the people in the parish.
Thank you, Ms. Goppelt.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez, a thriving and expanding petrochemical industry or industrial corridor is a vital lifeline to our businesses and our residents. If reelected as parish president, how do you plan to assist in continuing that growth?
Well, as I said, AEDC has done a wonderful job. They communicate with the petrochemical industry on a daily basis. As I said in the previous question, basically, right now we have Williams with $400 million, we have Westlake $300 million, we have Ormet, Trafigura coming in. All that is happening. And also on the West Bank, we've got some I'm trying to think of the chemical plant there, is also expanding. They bought out another plant in the area. And those are the type things that we need to continue doing. 52% of all our taxes, both sales tax and property tax, come from the petrochemical industry. So they're vital to this parish. they're the reason that when the economic depression hit, that we weren't hit immediately because they continue operating and we continue getting revenue from them. So we are dependent on them, so we have to make sure that we take care of them and work with them to ensure that they continue to thrive in our area.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez, and thank you both candidates. We've come now to the end of our question and answer session, and we're moving on to the closing statements. Each of you will have a set amount of time to address the business community and the people of Ascension Parish. Ms. Goppelt, you will get that first opportunity.
Thank you. If we keep doing the same thing, the same way, we're going to get the same results. And the status quo has failed us. The choice in this election is clear. Do you want your leaders to focus on infrastructure, improvements, and meeting the needs of the 107,000 residents that are already here? Or must we keep adding new rooftops without adequate infrastructure that will only worsen our growing pains and the traffic on our roads? My vision is one of responsible planning that manages growth by adding infrastructure. We must execute a plan for wastewater in order to attract business. We must use what precious dollars we have on intersection improvements, not another transportation plan. We must formulate an aggressive plan with goals and accountability to complete our drainage projects. We must follow our master plan that states we will not encourage development if there is no physical infrastructure to support it. I believe our government should help preserve our freedoms, not take them away. Encourage participation in the process, not muzzle citizens. And work for the people, not against them. This is my promise to you. Every citizen will be treated the same, and codes will be applied consistently. Every department will set goals and improve accountability. I will make time in my schedule to meet with and take calls from the public. Every day, I will work hard and use all available resources to see that the people are served. On October 22nd, I'm asking for your vote. Number 63, Catherine Guppelt for Ascension Parish President. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goppelt. Mr. Martinez, it is now your turn to make a closing statement.
Well, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Ascension Parish for allowing me the privilege of serving them the past 4 years. I think we've accomplished a lot. When we took over, there was a lot of fussing, fighting going on between the administration and council. We said we were going to work in the spirit of cooperation. That has happened. We have worked well together. We've worked well with all officials in Ascension Parish, the sheriff's office, the clerk's office, all elected officials have come together to make Ascension Parish the best parish in the state of Louisiana. And I'm proud to say that I'm the parish president here. I'm also proud of my family who's been here all their lives. My wife just retired this year. She taught for 36 years in the Ascension Parish public school system. You know, we wanted to make this place a great place for everyone to live, including our families. We've had several people, we're the fastest growing parish in the state of Louisiana at this time. I think we're working very hard on infrastructure. We got behind the 8 ball because we grew by 40% in the last 10 years. But we have made significant strides in the last 4 years on our infrastructure as far as transportation goes. We have a plan now for the sewer. I'm working with DOTD to provide a plan for the entire parish as far as traffic congestion. We have an award-winning finance department. We have an award-winning OEP department. So I'm not only proud, I'm proud of all of my employees that work for me because they work hard and they work tirelessly. And I just want to say thank you, and please give me the opportunity to serve Ascension Parish for the next 4 years. I welcome that opportunity, and I welcome the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And Ms. Goppelt and Mr. Martinez, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the Ascension Chamber of Commerce, I thank you both for being here today and in joining in our forum. We appreciate your attendance and your commitment to serve the residents of Ascension Parish if you are elected as our next parish president. And all of you, thank you for joining us today. We hope this will be beneficial in helping all of you determine who will be our next assessor and our next parish president. Regardless of how you vote, please exercise that right on October 22nd. Thank you and good day.